Offshore software development rates comparing by country and skills. By Procoders. Accessing more affordable talents is one reason why many companies are now turning towards offshore software development. Yet, more than low-cost offshore developer rates per hour is what makes a country optimal. What should you know? Following an examination of offshore software development rates by country, it is important that business leaders know what to expect when sending a project offshore. This section covers factors affecting the cost of a project, tips for cost-saving and cost-effective project implementation, and how to choose the right country and vendor. Factors affecting development costs. An offshore software development rates comparison is important in making a decision as to which region to outsource to. Yet, evidently, software development prices, like the price for every other thing, varies widely based on different factors. We'll look at some of the factors that cause varying prices, beginning from the more apparent to the less apparent. Developer expertise and experience. This is surely the most obvious factor affecting the price of hiring software developers. Certainly a junior developer cannot expect to be paid at offshore developer rates of a senior developer. Likewise, a senior developer will not settle with being paid at the rate of a mid-level developer. Programming languages. There are many programming languages, each with varying degrees of acceptance. There is an obvious skills gap in the software development market, even though the gap is closing. However, some languages are still growing. As such, there aren't many programmers who can code in that language yet. These factors affect offshore software development rates comparison, but we can expect some improvement in the coming years. Project complexity. This particularly applies to contract projects. The more complexity is required to complete a project, the higher you will get charged. When a project is complex, many people prefer to outsource the entire project to software development agencies such as Procoders, as against hiring individual developers. Location and cost of living. This is an apparent factor in offshore software development rates comparison, but the reasons are not immediately apparent to everyone. For instance, some people think that offshore developer rates are cheaper in certain areas simply because the developers from there are of lower quality. That's not true. Tips to save budget. One way companies spend more in hiring software developers is their hiring options. If you are recruiting directly, you would definitely spend more on finding the right developers. Instead, you can save budget by outsourcing software development to an agency via the outstaffing model. Hidden costs. Maintenance covers the most hidden offshore software development cost because sometimes, you can't anticipate the exact type of problems that would emerge needing to be fixed. Even though a project might have a timeline, software development is an unending venture. Maintenance might not even be due to some error. How to choose the right region and vendor. By now, it is clear enough that while offshore software development rates by country vary, the cheapness of a vendor or region is not enough reason to select it for your project. So, what other factors matter in choosing a region and vendor? Assess the developers themselves, even after meeting the management of the vendor or agency. That means knowing and meeting with the specific people who will directly handle your project. At Procoders, our clients have direct access to the teams we build, and as such, communication is smoother, and they can trust our work to be nothing short of excellence, and in accordance with their expectations. Conclusion. This article on offshore software development rates comparison is important because this model is something that is untried for many companies. However, many other companies that have tried using it continue to recount its benefits, particularly in saving offshore software development cost and in accessing a global talent pool, thereby expanding their hiring options and quality. Subscribe our channel and read more about offshore software development rates comparing by country and skills at Procoders blog.